everyone, I hope you all having a brilliant day. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'll be summarising everything that's happened in the last few months since I uploaded. Without further hesitation, let's get straight into the video. The first thing I'm going to discuss is what happened around 2 months ago when I went on holiday to Tenerife. It was a nice holiday, and before I left, I made sure to feed all of my colonies so they'd be set for the time I was away. I had lots of fun in Tenerife and got to saw all of the native and invasive species there. Unfortunately, things didn't look so good when I got home. As you all know, prior to going to Tenerife, I got myself a brand new colony of Neoponera apiculus. They were probably my most prized possession and cost quite a lot of money. When I got home, the colony wasn't in too good of a condition. Most of the workers had died, and I saw the queen moving very slowly as she seemed quite weak. I was very surprised about this since they were both heated and had plenty of food and water. Unfortunately, the next morning the queen had passed away. It might have been because of the cold weather, but I'm not exactly sure. Although it was sad to see the colony go after not having them for that long, these things happen, and in my case, there wasn't much I could have done to prevent it. Moving on from the sadness, I'm going to talk about my Camponotus discolor. Now, before I went away, I moved them into a new nest because they'd moved into the water tower of their old nest, which was becoming quite frustrating, and also I feel like this nest would suit them a bit better and last them a bit longer. They were very stubborn and did not want to move in via tubing, so instead I took their nest away from their outworld and put it in this tub with the new nest and unscrew the acrylic panel, and hopefully they would move in. They were still being stubborn, so I moved the nest vertically, and this still didn't work, so as a last resort I ended up dumping them into the new nest. This actually worked well, and eventually they all settled down and they were in a new nest ready for me to go on holiday. Of course, just like my apiculus, something had to have gone wrong, because the night I got back, I got into my room and saw a completely empty nest. This now meant that my entire Camponotus discolor colony was loose somewhere in my bedroom, and it was my job to find out where they were. In the first few days, I had no luck. I saw workers crawling across my desk, but I'd looked in every single drawer and I didn't find the colony at all. I tried following the workers back, but that didn't help either. It seemed as if my efforts were futile, until one day I opened the drawer and saw a worker coming out of an old box that I'd received my AirPods in. After opening the box, I was met with a flood of workers that I quickly dumped into this container. At first, I didn't think there was that many until I used an app to determine that there were over 130 individuals in this colony. I quickly connected their old nest to this outworld and dumped them all in here, and eventually they all moved in. Now that I've gone over all that, let's go and have a look and see how the colony's doing at the moment. As you can already see, I've changed their outworld into a bigger one with cocoa fibre as a base, and looking into the nest, you can see that it's absolutely jam-packed. The floor is coated with brood, and there are workers in every crevice of the nest, on the ceiling, on the walls. It's just absolutely jam-packed, and since AntCon is coming up soon, I'm hoping to get them a new nest so they'll have more space to grow into, which I think they'd greatly appreciate since there is brood absolutely everywhere. Now moving on to probably the biggest bit of news of the entire video. Now here you can see my Lassus Niger, which I've moved into this new setup with a single test tube and a tub with fluon. And you can see I've done the same thing here with my skirts, and as you'll see in a minute, I've done the same thing with my Cruentatus and my dives. Now you may be wondering why I've done this, and it's because I've made the decision to sell these colonies. Now it may be a bit sad because I'm having to say goodbye to more colonies, but I'll explain why in just a minute. Now, as some of you might already know, AntCon is coming up soon, and because of this, I've made the decision to sell a couple of my colonies, not only because I just wanted to make a bit more money so I'd have enough to spend at the event, but also because I'm planning to get some bigger species at AntCon which will require more space, so therefore I have ended up selling my species to make more room as well. Money wasn't the only thing that I got from getting rid of my colonies. As for my dives, I traded them for a brand new colony of Harpegnathos venator, courtesy of my good friend Max. The colony is in a full gypsum medium nest from Wakushi, which is connected to a large outworld with a cocoa fibre base. They have 2 queens and 18 workers and a nice large pile of eggs. The colony did come with some mites, but they haven't seemed to pose an issue for the ants, and the mite population has been declining, which is good. And with that, we've reached the end of the video. I don't have much to say for my acros or my messes, but they're doing fine. AntCon is also coming up soon, and I will be making a video about that when it's over. So without further ado, I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!